I'm your host Slim bin Mohammed Rafi, and here is my YouTube channel Zamir Universal. Nuclear war, as India has been itching, and so has been the one of the cruelest, the dirtiest, the filthiest war criminal declared by international court, and everyone in the world spitting on him, Natenyahu, the war criminal, wanted, and his warrants of arrest been issued, and so for the butcher of Gujarat, Narendra Modi. Whether they were twins or they have a DNA which is common of, and they have, I think, surpassed Halaku Khan, the cruelest people on earth, they have both. And what they are itching for, and they have been blackmailing the whole world. Netanyahu in the last 75 years, and even I think his vengeance, his hatred towards mankind, the survival of mankind never stopped when his predecessor assassinated President Kennedy, because he did not want the Israelis, to pursue the nuclear bomb development, and they didn't like that. When that prime minister didn't like that, to whom this criminal succeeded, he made sure that this man was assassinated, so that he never asks him again anything about it. Because the Jewish lobby, like Friends of Israel, Apex, they are so strong. They not only they built an island where they were providing children for all kinds of sex orgies, and all the big names have been there, and they are taking their naked videos to blackmail them. And Mossad and the Jews, Netanyahu visited that place 60 times. So you can imagine that how actively this dirty, filthy people been involved. And this is the same thing you can say about Narendra Modi, because he cannot look after his own security and security of his people, the tourists, but he keeps bragging, and he sold everything. He sold railway stations, he sold airports, he has, I think, sold highways, motorways, but even his soul and all, he did it in hatred towards Mughals, the people who ruled India, the British. So the Muslims and Christians been his main target. Even touching the cow handlers were lynched and raped, then triple talaq, then all sorts of excuses, just like saying that Netanyahu demolish their homes, take their olive orchards, take their farms, put the illegal settlements, inch by inch, throw them out into the ocean or out in the desert to die of starvation. And both these cruel people are scum of the society, and if what they are itching for, I'm just giving you just a small little overview what the nuclear will do. What would any one of them? Pakistan possesses 130 nuclear or atomic weapons, and they are very, very strong, very easy to carry, and much, much lethal than India, who has 118 nuclear weapons. Now, if ever there is a nuclear war between Pakistan and India, as India keeps on blackmailing that I will use that, and if Pakistan, God forbid, in retaliation uses that, when its sovereignty is in danger, then you can see what will happen. At least 20 million people may die. Now, how many will be affected? 2 billion. So imagine, out of 1.9 billion total Indian population and 250 million in Pakistan, both countries people can die. Or if they don't, then what can happen to the countries? Because this nuclear war will not just remain contained to the geographical borders of India and Pakistan. This will spread all the way to miles and miles, it will reach there. Now, how many years will be there before there is a sunrise again? Because all that dust which will rise from this nuclear explosion, it will take nearly 20 years for sun to shine again on the earth planet. So there will be no agriculture, no plantation, no food. People will starve to death. So that is what will be in the plate for Narendra Modi. And God forbid if the Pakistan did the first attack, it will be the same thing, not only for these two countries, but the whole world population. Now, how many people can die? Remember that in the first 2 months, nearly 40 million people will die of this nuclear war if it does. And tons of smoke will go up into the sky. It will be approximately 15 million tons of dust and smoke which will rise towards the sky, and so there will be no sunshine on the planet, so no vegetation, no nothing, no even rain cycle. Now this smoke will reach miles and miles and could reach United States of America, which is now, that is the ill and the last 75 years has invaded one of the most, I think, terrorist ugly face which has invaded on one pretext or the other to rob their gold, their oil, and did it on the behest of Israel, that illegitimate child. They came out of the illegal, wedlock between Great Britain and that. The person who is responsible for all the ills left on this society in the last.
All problems in the world go back to the British. That's true in Pakistan, India. That's true in China. That's true throughout the Middle East. That's true here in Cyprus, because they were the most powerful empire for 200 years, and they left behind conflicts everywhere. The disaster taking place in Palestine right now, one of the reasons is that between 1915 and 1917, the British promised the same territory to 3 different groups. So first, in the McMahon communications, the British promised it to the Arabs. You fight with us against the Turks, it's yours. Then they negotiated the Sykes-Picot Treaty to say to the French, it's yours. Then in the Balfour Declaration in 1917, they said it's a Jewish homeland. So the British promised 3 times land that wasn't even theirs. And they got a lot of nerve as far as I'm concerned. And now you need to disentangle all of this. But this is where
ब्रिटिश इंडिया के दौर में ये स्टैब्लिश हुई थी 1931 में, और ये बहुत बड़ी 4 किलोमीटर बड़ा रनवे था, टैक्सी हो जाता था जहाज, और एक बड़ी जबरदस्त जो है ना वो एयरबेस थी, और यहां से बर्मा वगैरह और मुख्तलिफ जगहों के ऊपर ऑपरेशंस के लिए इसको इस्तेमाल किया जाता था। फिर जब पाकिस्तान के हिस्से में आई, जब वो मशरकी पाकिस्तान था, तो फिर ये ज्यादा देर चली नहीं और इसको बंद कर दिया गया। 1971 के बाद बांग्लादेश ने कई बार सोचा कि इसको अपनी एयरफोर्स का हेडक्वार्टर बना दे, लेकिन बना नहीं सके। अगेन आज नाज़रीन किराम 2025 में आके पाकिस्तान से मदद मांगी जा रही है कि आप एज अ सब कॉन्ट्रैक्टर आए और यहां पे हमारी एयरबेस को बनाइए। नाज़रीन किराम, ये एयरबेस चिकन नेक के करीब होना और इंडिया के 3 दुश्मन चीन, बांग्लादेश, पाकिस्तान का हाथ मिलाना यहां से, नाज़रीन किराम, उन्हें समझ में नहीं आ रहा। इंडिया के बॉर्डर के ऊपर, इसके बाद बांग्लादेशी बेस के ऊपर पाकिस्तानियों की मौजूदगी, यानी बांग्लादेश की एयरबेस जो कि एक ऐसी जगह पे वाक़या है जहां पर इंडिया की 7 रियासतें काटी जा सकती हैं, वहां पर पाकिस्तानियों की मौजूदगी और बांग्लादेशी पायलट्स का पाकिस्तान में ट्रेनिंग के लिए आना, और वो भी JF-17 थंडर के तैयारों की ट्रेनिंग के लिए आना, ये सब कुछ एक ही वक्त में हो रहा है। तो सुन के आपको जरा दिलचस्पी लगेगा और थोड़ा इसके अंदर आपको अजीबो-गरीब भी लगेगा कि ये सब कुछ अचानक कैसे हो रहा है। तो नाज़रीन किराम, आज हम इसी बारे में बात करने वाले हैं कि कैसे बांग्लादेश चीन को रास्ता देने के लिए तैयार है। चीन जो कि हमेशा से चिकन नेक से 7 रियासतें इंडिया की काटना चाहता है, वहां बांग्लादेश कैसे अपना किरदार अदा कर रहा है। इन सारी चीजों को समझने के लिए नाज़रीन किराम आपको जरा समझना पड़ेगा कि ये सिलीगुड़ी कॉरिडोर क्या है। सिलीगुड़ी कॉरिडोर को जब आपको, या चिकन नेक, इंडिया की चिकन नेक, या सबसे कमजोर हिस्सा क्या है, उसकी जब समझ आ जाएगी तो फिर सारी चीजें समझ आ जाएंगी। नाज़रीन किराम, इंडिया की शिमाल मशरकी 7 रियासतें ऐसी हैं जो कि एक चिकन नेक के जरिए जुड़ी हुई हैं बाकी मानदा भारत के साथ। चिकन नेक से मुराद यानी वो एक बारीक सी जगह जहां से जो जोड़ती है पूरे इंडिया को उसकी बाकी 7 रियासतों से, यानी कि शिमाल मशरकी 7 रियासतों से। इस ये जो बारीक सी जगह है नाज़रीन इकराम, जिसके एक तरफ भूटान है, चाइना है और बांग्लादेश है, इस बारीक सी जगह को कहा जाता है सिलीगुड़ी कॉरिडोर। ये जो सिलीगुड़ी कॉरिडोर है नाज़रीन इकराम, ये इतना बारीक है कि ये सिर्फ 22 किलोमीटर का एक इलाका है। यानी यहां ये 22 किलोमीटर का ये इलाका भारत को जोड़ता है अपनी शिमाल मशरकी 7 रियासतों के साथ। कौन कौन सी? अरुणाचल प्रदेश, असम, मणिपुर, मेघालय, मिजोरम, नागालैंड, त्रिपुरा। ये जो 7 रियासतें हैं, ये सिर्फ इसी बारीक सी एक रास्ते के साथ अटकी हुई हैं। यानी अगर किसी जंगी माहौल के अंदर, किसी लड़ाई के अंदर इस 22 किलोमीटर के इलाके को काट दिया जाए तो पूरा भारत, यानी वो कहते हैं ये चिकन नेक अलग हो जाती है, पूरा भारत बाकी 7 रियासतों से कट जाता है और ये 7 रियासतें अलग हो जाती हैं। और इस पूरी सिचुएशन के अंदर मजेदारी तब आती है जब आपको ये अंदाजा हो कि इन्हीं 7 रियासतों के अंदर नाज़रीन इकराम 6 रियासतें ऐसी हैं जिसमें डायरेक्ट, वैसे तो 7 के 7 के अंदर ही अलहदगी की तहरीकें चल रही हैं, और 7वीं अरुणाचल प्रदेश, चाइना ये कहता है कि ये रियासत भारत की है नहीं, ये इलाका है ही हमारा, ये तो साउथ तिब्बत है। तो आपको अंदाजा होगा कि ये जो 22 किलोमीटर का इलाका जिसे मैं चिकन नेक कह रहा हूं, यानी मैं नहीं सिर्फ सारे, इसका नाम ही चिकन, ऐसे चिकन नेक ही कहा जाता है, ये कितनी अहमियत का हामिल है।
250 years is the Great Britain. Now, even India, Pakistan, the Kashmir issue has been there. Palestinian issue has been left by that. So, he left the Tibet issue there and there, Hong Kong, even in the Middle East, all those, things, you will see that. Japan, China, all these problems were left by British, and they have never been made accountable and been asked for compensation. Now, what will happen is that it can involve the whole world, and this is why I think if it's not stopped, if the world does not wake up, as it has been kept sleeping with the genocide of Gaza and starvation and the killings, and they are even in their, makeshift tents where they were there, all the hospitals, the universities, the wells poisoned, the food stopped for 90 days now. No medicine, no doctors, no anesthesia. Now you can see that how concentration camps they talk about, they are incinerators and gas chambers. These people are beasts. If Natenyahu is a beast, then his father is Narendra Modi. He is the father of that beast. So you can imagine that the whole world will be involved in 2 weeks after the first blast. Now, if that happens, at least 2 billion people, which is nearly 1/3 of the total world population, will perish. So, I think with this little message to wake up Narendra Modi and the other evil on this planet, that world should rise against it and stop these 2 people. It's not just a question of ceasefire between India and Pakistan. It is going to have its impact all across the globe, so it must be stopped.
यूनिवर्सल टेलीविजन को सब्सक्राइब करना ना भूलें, उसके बाद बेल बटन पे क्लिक करें और अपने कमेंट्स के सेक्शन में अपने कीमती जो ख्यालात का इजहार ज़रूर